I must have been a really easy customer. I must have just sat there and just allowed him to do it. I must have been a really passive customer. He was saying that a woman would have been giving him a hard time whilst he was cutting it. If a woman was in there with hair my length, how she would have been a difficult customer. And I'm waiting to go for my hairdressing appointment at 10 to 3 this afternoon. Fortunately, I've just been able to make an appointment there. The barbers, the gents barbers at the top of my road. I've just come from there now. I waited since... I would have gone last about the... say, third week into COVID. I was last due to go to the hairdressers about the second, third week into COVID. So I've, as a result, I've waited all this time to be able to get a trim of both the hair and the beard. The beard I've just sort of like kept trimmed and neat. I've kept it sort of neat-ish. I've just kept on top of the scruff, the rabid scruff in the mirror in my bathroom. I've just kept on top of that. That's just nothing compared to what it needs. It needs a complete overhaul, edit, and basically I wasn't prepared to do that, but I simply never had the nerve, just didn't have the courage, basically. Could have went on YouTube and I could have learned how to do it, but I don't have that amount of time. I don't have those chunks of time free to myself to be able to do that kind of thing here. I so wanted to. A few weeks ago I was so wanting to. I've never had a go-see this out of control. It's never grown, especially the moustache, the moustache now. That area, the top area, has never been that overgrown. Bottom area has been longer. It's been long. It's been longer, the bottom area. Quite a lot longer. But as far as the top lip's concerned, but it is an area where if you try and do it yourself, it's basically make or break. You've got to be a professional to be able to do it confidently. I stopped myself from saying that if I was to have made a mistake there on the top lip, because it's so noticeable, such a noticeable area, it's the most noticeable area on a person, isn't it? The mouth, its face, isn't it? If I'd have just slightly screwed it, I didn't want to lose it. Don't want to lose it completely, see. But if I'd have screwed it up, even with slightly have screwed it up, I'd have had to have shaved it all off. Which I would have had to have done anyway if the COVID hadn't been coming to an end now. Everywhere seems to be opening up again. Some barbers have actually turned me down. They've said, no, if you come in, you have to wear a mask. I've noticed the United States have been a lot stricter there. But I've also noticed some barbers where they don't bother. Basically, I mean, they were as far as saying do all your appointments and stuff online. But the one place where I did get an appointment at, I think only some of the guys cutting hair were wearing masks. Not all of them were. Just one or two were. It was a town centre barber. It looked quite nice actually. It was quite a youthful one, a young looking one. It was furnished in black and chrome and things, stainless steel. Not chrome, stainless steel, black and stainless steel. It was tight black t-shirts and stuff like that inside. I did feel really out of place there. I felt 15 years too old to be in there. So that's where I'm going now. I'm getting ready to go now. 10 to 3, my appointment's there. I'm actually shitting myself, to be honest with you. I've completely lost my nerve already. As I say, I'm 15 years far too old to be going there. But it's the only place where I could find this soon after the coming of the end to the end of COVID. This period we're all in now. It was the only place I could find. Desperate to get this all neatened up and trimmed. Desperate. Right, alright, I'll do another instalment when I leave my house. Okay, I'll do a further edit then. Alright, soon. Wish me luck. I'm getting now, as I speak to you now, I'm just getting my shit together and getting my head together, ready to go and stuff. Yeah. You'll probably, as I say, get another edit where you'll see this. Yeah, this is all, it's all going today. At least most of it, it's going to be edited. It's going to look considerably different in about 4 hours' time. Let's put it that way. I'm so looking forward to it. Okay. Ooh, talk about deep dive, man. Talk about deep diving. Hello, YouTube. Right, I've just come out. Video respond. How did you cope when it came to your own hair and men, facial hair? Now, moving on, getting back. Yeah, it was so good being able to get at the hairdresser. I've just come out the hairdressers now. I just feel, and it was weird because I felt so nervous in there because it had been so long since I've been. I just felt so nervous. It took all the time, about 3/4 of the time before my nerves settled. I felt to a point where I felt really comfortable in there. Oh Christ, I can actually talk without my moustache tripping up on me teeth. The worst thing was just like drinking tea and coffee and getting a strand of hair stuck on the punch bag to the point where I'm on all fours coughing it out on the bloody kitchen floor. That's the worst thing about having a moustache. And my goatee was growing fine, but my moustache was becoming impossible. As I say, I mean, I would be blowing my nose and like my handkerchief was full of it, and as I say, my teeth was plucking it out and I was swallowing it, and I was saying if it was catching on the punch bag at the back, it was causing me all kinds of trouble. Christ. Yeah, I've just come out, I feel so relieved. It's just like, I just feel like I can talk again. I just like my moustache, and he did the sides as well, he trimmed the sides as well with a men's razor, just like with a normal men's razor he did it. I don't have a men's razor at home. I just don't. But he did it, it took about 30 seconds to do the moustache in the side area, and he did need to concentrate whilst he was doing it, and he did it with a comb, and he really contemplated doing it as he was doing it, and he took his time, and I could tell he was needing to look at it as he was doing it. It wasn't just like a quickie, it wasn't just like it was done, you know what I mean? I still wouldn't have liked to have done it myself, let's put it that way. But the hair, my moustache, I still wouldn't have liked to have done it. And as far as my hair goes, it was just, that really, he only took about 1 inch off. Even though I was in there for about, cutting time, I was in there for about, getting actually cut actually in the chair, I was there for about 8 minutes in the chair, 9 minutes, and it seemed like fucking half an hour because it's, as I say, nerves took so long to settle. It felt like ages, not because it was an uncomfortable ride. It wasn't, as I say, it was because my nerves took ages to settle. It was great. I got talking to the chap, and I may put the name of the hairdressers in the description below. I had a wonderful time in there. It was great. The reception area was really easy and comfortable. The gentleman at the reception, really great guy, and it felt really at ease in there. They made me feel at ease in there, totally at ease in there. Pissing down with rain, absolutely pissing down with rain. But, I remembered to bring the umbrella out with me, which is just fantastic. That just shows that ultimately I felt at ease in mind. I felt comfortable in my mind. Ultimately, as I say, my nerves did settle. Proof of the pudding that I did remember to bring my umbrella out with me. It does say that overall I had a really comfortable ride in there, and I can only recommend them. I can't recommend them enough. I'll put them in the description below. I've just come out of there now, and yes, I'm on complete cloud nine. A marvel, an absolute marvel. I've had my top lip moustache trimmed. This is the day after 24 hours, probably about 30 hours since I'm finally happy with my look. See what they've done. He's just done a razor. He's just done a gent's razor through it. He went up, like that, went up from the bottom up, with a comb in the other hand over the top. So he managed to manually trim a length on it evenly all over. I didn't want to say do it in a specific style, leave it a certain length but trim here and etc, etc. I didn't want to start asking him to give me a particular style. It wasn't that type of hairdressers. It wasn't a specialised gents barbers. If it was, then I would have asked him for a certain style. Looking back, I feel like such an idiot because all it would have took was a gent's razor and a comb in the other hand and a bit of patience to basically do the main of what I found the biggest problem I was having, which was like moustache becoming so bulky. I feel so stupid knowing that very thing, but the fact that, look, I've never allowed my moustache area to grow so heavy. I've never ever allowed it to. Now, why? Because I'm a grown man. Why that is the case? I'm sat here now thinking, I don't know why. I don't know why. It's maybe everything has simply just got on top of me to the point where because I've been happy with my goatee, I've simply just not ducked my head into the sink and shaved off the moustache. This goatee here is sort of like, as I've become older, this goatee here has become, it's taken on a more, it's sort of like growing more accustomed to how I want it to. Why that is, I don't know, but it's sort of like, instead of it going all straggly, it's kind of like, it grows nice healthy, it grows a nice healthy kind of healthy shape, natural shape, and it doesn't go all straggly. It kind of like has a nice curvature around the chin, and it kind of like goes under, kind of like that, naturally, without it going all straggly. So it's not needed editing. I've not needed to edit it. It's sort of like it's as if the beard has taken to its chin. It's growing on in a better fashion, and of late, and yeah, and that's probably the case. And so I thought to myself, I've decided to myself, right, I'll keep the goatee. That's really pleasing. That was pleasing for me to keep the goatee. Yeah, isn't that mad the way as I've gotten old, the way the goatee now suddenly decided to grow in a nice way, as if to the curvature of my chin, and it's grown underneath there without me having to tame it, without it going all straggly. Isn't that strange the way that has been the case? Yeah, so that's probably why I've not gone into the bathroom and just thrown my head in the water in the sink and just got it all off. That's probably why the delay has been there. And like I've said, like any man will say, that if you start sodding around with your own facial hair and you're not professional, if you fuck it up, excuse the French, you've got to get rid of it all. There's no one of those picking the hair back out the sink and sticking it on. Just, once, it's like head hair, you fuck up your goatee, if you fuck up any of your facial hair, you fuck it up, it's got to go. And as the weeks have progressed with this, everywhere is short, this period we're all living through, and it's probably, as it's taken a toll on myself, mentally it has taken a toll on me, not being able to escape to my usual places. I think the whole malarkey has just allowed my facial hair, really, especially the top lip area, just to like, specifically the top hair, to really go really thick. And I feel so foolish, and I feel really foolish in hindsight now. It's been like 30 hours, that really would have just took a gent's razor. I've not owned one because I've not needed one. I would normally after a few weeks just get rid of it all. Even as I would get rid of it all after a few weeks. So I think it's all just happened naturally, that it got really out of hand, top lip area, to the point where I was frightened to edit it myself in case I fucked it up, right? Because then I would have to get rid of that, and then a man has to decide then, does one keep the goatee, does one have moustache, because a man obviously can have one or the other, or both. It would have just really complicated everything if I'd have fucked it up, right? So, looking back, I feel like such a tool, because all it would have took was a gent's razor in one hand and a comb in the other, and it just took him literally about 8 seconds to do the area, which I was stressing out for weeks. For weeks. No, it was growing like that. It was out here. I'd be sitting having a cup of tea in the morning, and I was taking out, and hairs all off my top lip, and it was just gross, pulling all this moustache hair out of my top lip. And as I was eating my food, having a meal at the table, I would have to move my moustache whilst I was bringing the fork up to my mouth. And gents now watching this will say, yes, it's like with head hair. If you want to grow a moustache, it has to go to a certain length before you can tame it. Yeah. But I didn't want that. I didn't want to grow I didn't want to have a heavily stylized moustache. I just wanted a certain length where I could just simply groom it. But again, it would have to grow out for that to happen, wouldn't it? And I was in a catch-22 area, and I found myself in a catch-22 where I was in the hairdressers yesterday, and as it wasn't a specific gents barbers, I felt I didn't actually ask him to style for me, because I didn't feel comfortable doing that. Like I just said a few minutes ago, I just didn't feel it was apt to do that. I didn't think it was appropriate to do that, and it wouldn't have been appropriate. It wouldn't have been appropriate for me to ask him to stylize it. And I will also say, I said in the intro to this series that I wanted to take the camera into the barbers with me. I wanted to actually vlog it, and I wanted to actually get the camera out whilst I was in there, and perhaps aim the camera into the mirror as it was looking at myself, the gent taking off my, editing it there and then. I wanted to get live footage of him doing it. I wanted to do that, and I did say that I was going to do that. But again, it wasn't appropriate for me to do that. Like I didn't take the camera with me when I was walking to the hairdressers. That just didn't feel appropriate to do, because the rain was coming down so heavy. It didn't feel appropriate for me to take the camera out whilst I was in there, to actually film it live. It just didn't feel appropriate. So, in hindsight, overall, it's not too bad. Made up that I finally got myself to the hairdressers. I got a nice trim whilst I was in there, and he was complimenting me on the hair, saying how great it was. He was really complimentary. He was almost flattering me. Here's to episode 3.